Hi, Father Ian Van Heusen here. So when I was a kid, we moved around a lot. So we moved from place to place. And Army family, we'd move every 2 to 3 or 4 years. And when we would move, my parents learned a lesson, which was that often sometimes things would go missing. So they had us kids kind of watching all of the movers and making sure that everything made its way into boxes. And also with that moving, even as I get older, because I've moved around a lot as an adult, with each move, you kind of learn anew, well, where are things? What are their importance in your life? What are the things that you want to keep? What are the things that you want to let go? Because a lot of times when you move, you kind of select things that you don't want to bring with you. So with every move, we really learned to value what we had and also had a deeper awareness of where we've gone and where we're going. I think in this first Sunday of Lent, we see this imagery of a pilgrim people, of ancient Israel. And at the heart of this pilgrim people is remembering where they're from, but embracing that moving for the sake of the Lord, moving on, learning to recognize what is necessary and what is frivolous. And in Deuteronomy, after they've come out of Egypt, Moses is forming their hearts to enter into the Holy Land. And he wants them to remember this sense of being a pilgrim people, of being on the move. And he says in the first reading, "My father was a wanderer Armenian who went down to Egypt with a small household and lived there as an alien, but there he became a nation, great, strong, and numerous." So another dynamic when we would move from place to place is we always came back to Western New York and where my family was from, my grandparents. So there was a sense of our stories and our history. And what you learn when you're moving from place to place is that stories and history, that people are more important than things. Ancient Israel learned this as well in the deserts of Egypt. They were stripped of all their attachments. You know, of course, it was an ongoing process. It wasn't perfect, but it was a preparation for what we're going to see in today's gospel, which is a deeper reality of having spiritual freedom or having spiritual detachment. Jesus journeys into the desert. His journey into the desert mirrors that of Israel. And that's why the church gives us both of these readings. He goes into the desert to liberate humanity from our attachments to sin and death, to overcome sin and death. So on one hand, the pilgrim people of Israel was a foreshadowing of a deeper spiritual reality, that we are not made for this world, but that we have to be free from everything that's going to keep us from embracing the life to come. So he comes in and we see in these 3 temptations a representation of the totality of our temptations. I don't want to get into them because actually what I would encourage you to do, instead of me giving you the answers to what they mean for you, go read the text. Try to identify in your heart those 3 temptations. What do they mean for you? How do they play out in your life? And as you enter into that spiritual exercise, come to that place of spiritual freedom. So consider that as we meditate and prepare for the first Sunday of that Lent. Amen.